Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel and to another live stream, another live episode. And there's a few things that I want to clear up right at the beginning. Number one, if this rings, I'm going to have to answer it because somebody needs an arse kicking and they're avoiding me. So long story short, which is sort of why we're taking the angle we're taking in today's episode, which I'll come on to in a minute. But yes, if the phone rings, I do have to take it. And yeah, I will stop the live stream and I will continue afterwards with a part 2 and continue where we left off. Just want to give you the heads up on that one. Secondly, apologize for this window. Nothing I can do about it. So the light is always a little bit weird. Third, yes, welcome. Sorry, it's been a while. It's been a hectic few days, and you can probably guess my mood from this title of this video. So what I wanted to do is do a live Q&A, raw, uncut, no bullshit, e-commerce Q&A. I've done it live. I know it's not the greatest time. People may be in work or maybe busy, whatever. But if you are live and you want to join in, the live chat is over on your right-hand side. If you've got any questions that you want me to help answer, let me know. What I have done is compiled some questions which I've been answered over the past month or so. And I figured now would be a good time to discuss them openly, give you my raw, honest answers. And yeah, like I said, hopefully you'll get some sort of benefit from this. The mood I'm in today, you're just going to get nothing but honest, raw truth. There's going to be nothing fluffy about the answers. So yeah, if you want some raw, honest answers about any of your e-commerce, your online issues, marketing, whatever it may be, now's a good time to get involved. So one of the questions, I've got a list here. I made a list of all the questions which I commonly get asked. Or certainly have been asked recently. The first one is, if you were to sell online tomorrow, how would you do it? That answer is dependent on a few things. The main thing it's dependent on is what it is I'm selling. So there's certain things which I just wouldn't touch as a seller. Mainly things like most types of electronics I wouldn't touch. Usually the returns rate is very high. Fashion is interesting to me in some regards. Again, underwear has always been an attractive one for me, purely based on it's very, very e-commerce friendly. Can largely fit in small envelopes, very cheap to post, not really much can go wrong with it. It can't really go faulty. The only thing you've got is if the sizes are wrong, which I believe you can negate to the best of your ability in the listing description with size guides and everything else. So for that, I would immediately start selling on eBay and Amazon. And then in the background, I would start building a brand, around the product that I'm selling. So I'm not saying I would go and sell some Calvin Kleins. Calvin Klein would be very strict on the price. I would need authorization from them in order to sell on the marketplaces as well as my own website. It all gets very messy. So what I would do is actually invest in building my own brand, manufacturing my own product, something which I can then control the market of. And yeah, so eBay and Amazon for quick wins, get sales in through the door. Against the quickest way to get your products in front of an audience. And then from there, start building my own website and then really hammer social. So, get involved with Instagram, especially, probably some Facebook, but I think Instagram would be the biggest one for apparel right now, especially if they go down the route which they're sort of lining themselves up for with payment integrations and shoppable posts, which we've already seen. So yeah, I'd totally be on Instagram, building an audience on Instagram. I think that would be the safest thing to do. And yeah, like I said, I'm not saying you would ignore the marketplaces. The marketplaces give you the best ability to get your products in front of many people as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much what I would do. Try to think what other product ranges. Again, it would depends what I'm selling. Car parts, for example. Again, I don't know enough about them really to make a good decision on that one. But yeah, I think if I was to sell online, I'd still be doing eBay and Amazon. I'd be doing the English speaking countries, so I'd be doing USA, Australia, Canada, UK, and then potentially from there looking to expand out into the rest of Europe. But once I have that base of sales coming in, and I'd explored all avenues with the English speaking first. So yeah, that would be what I would do. Next question, which I got asked about earlier this week, was what are my current thoughts on eBay? Again, very, very broad question, but right now my initial gut feeling is I'm not overly thrilled with what they're doing. I actually reached out to eBay maybe 4 months ago and offered to cover their eBay Open event in Vegas that was last week. And they seemed very interested, like, yeah, we'll look into that. We'll see it. We'll get back to you with how this would work. Never heard back from them. So again, whether that was just a case of thanks, but no thanks, we're not interested, or whether they just genuinely forgot, it got lost. Either way, wasn't great from like a relationship point of view with me. It's like, just ignore me. That's also another option you can take. But that's not an issue. I'm not holding that against eBay. That's on them, really, their loss. But instead, with eBay right now, like, again, if you check on eSeller Cafe, Richard wrote an article the other day about eBay's beta for their new payment system. Again, we spoke about eBay and Adyen and moving away from PayPal, which at the time I thought was good. It's a good move. It's eBay diversifying, standing on their own 2 feet. But then when I read about like the terms of needing to be in this beta, you basically have to turn your back on PayPal and you can't go back. So right now the problem is that if you're running a business on eBay, the vast, 100% of your customers are using PayPal. And what you're asking them to do is, what you're sort of saying is, right, we're going to ignore all of those people and only be available to the people who are willing to start using Adyen or the inbuilt payment system using cards as a way to check out. That would be business suicide in my mind. You would pretty much overnight turn off your eBay sales with no way of getting them back. I'd be surprised if anyone other than a new business or a second store in your group of businesses, if you had like a second alternate store that only sold a small selection of products, or you were building up a second store for a different range and you wanted to experiment, fine. But if you're running a business which is doing any sort of turnover, you'd be absolutely mental to agree to those terms. So again, I don't see the logic from eBay with that. I don't know why they think sellers would be lining up to take them up on that offer. Especially with, we're in August right now, with Q3 coming up and then Q4 right around the corner. Do you really want to run the risk of not putting your products in front of the most amount of people at your potentially busiest time of year? Makes no sense. So eBay, in some things they do things very, very well. In other things they really seem to miss the point. Like eBay Australia sort of runs independently. eBay Australia brings out all these new, the eBay Plus thing. They've now got a fulfillment agreement with Fulfillio out in Australia to obviously compete with Amazon. That's great. That's innovation. We're actually seeing them compete on the marketplace front. That's what we want to see. But in the UK and the USA, I just don't see that same innovation. I don't see that same growth potential. I mean, don't get me wrong, eBay's still got a massive audience and still, a great place to, very easy to get up. And I'd say it's easier to sell on eBay than it is to sell on Amazon, to get started at least. So my thoughts on eBay recently is I'm not overly thrilled with what they're doing. I think they're in a transition period. But I think this next year for them is going to be very crucial in terms of how they if they get it right or not. So we will see. Flip one to that, which I always get asked, is thoughts on Amazon. Amazon are absolutely killing it. Again, they released their Q2 results last week. What was it? 2.5 billion in Q2, up from 300 or 400 million from the previous year. It's insane. Like, the growth for Amazon is insane. And it's one of those where I remember a couple of years ago, a few e-commerce guys were sort of looking at Amazon going, yeah, they can't continue to grow like this. It'll plateau eventually. I just don't see it. Like, they've got such world domination in their minds and in their sites. And when I was at Catalyst earlier this year, you know, I can't remember the guy's name. I think he was from Germany, but basically looking after a European marketplace for Amazon. He basically turned around and went, we don't even think we're at step one yet. And when you get in your mind that that's how Amazon is thinking, like, they don't even think they're at the first step of their journey yet. You start thinking, shit, Amazon, Jeff Bezos is now the richest man in the world. And this next nearest person is $50 billion behind him. Let that sink in as to how far ahead Jeff Bezos is, how far ahead Amazon is right now. Like, their stock price, I believe, is near $1,800. It's gone up $800 in less than a year. I think it breached $1,000 for the first time in October last year. I wouldn't bet against them to hit 2,000 by this October, in which case they doubled their share price in a year from a business which was already at $1,000. You know how hard that is to happen. So Amazon just continues to kill it, continues to grow. I think if you're not selling on Amazon, you are missing out massively. Do not look at it as a saturated marketplace. Look at it as a marketplace where people are buying products. And if you're not on there, they're not going to buy from you. Basically, I'm an example. I'm a Prime member. If I want something now, I'm going to go to Amazon first. And if I can get it free, same day or next day delivery, I'm going to buy it. And if your product's not there, I ain't buying it. I'm not seeing it. So thoughts on Amazon? It ain't going anywhere. And if you are not selling on it, and as an e-commerce seller, you're missing out. Now, this next question is one that I get asked all the time. Should I sell on X marketplace? Should I sell on Frugo? Should I sell on Newegg? Should I sell on whatever, Mercado Libre, Allegro, all these other weird and wonderful marketplaces? Should I sell on them as an e-commerce seller? The honest answer, no bullshit, remember, this is raw and uncut. You're getting my pure, honest thoughts on this. No. Is it worth your time and effort and energy to set up, another marketplace? Absolutely not. There would be much better ways that you could spend your time making your current listings or your current marketplaces better. That is going to give you more stroke quicker, stroke faster results than setting up Frugo. That's the reality of it. And you can argue with it. You can argue with me all you want about it. The only way that I would say that you would be in a position, you should genuinely start exploring other marketplaces other than eBay and Amazon is, number one, if you sold a very, very weird product that was unobtainable in a country which had a marketplace that you weren't on. So if you found out that, I don't know, pencil sharpeners were really hot stuff right now in Poland, and there was nobody else selling pencil sharpeners, then yes, go and set up on Allegro. Away you go. You might make some money. But if you're selling stuff that is readily available in these other countries, in France, in Poland, in Brazil, you're going to find it's not going to be at the level of sales, at the level of return that you wouldn't expect from a marketplace. I would instead state that you should optimize your eBay, your Amazon, your .coms, your .co.uk's, your .com.au's, your English-speaking sites first, if English is your native language. And once you are happy and you think that your listings are unbeatable, and let me just throw this out there, I think once in the past 10 years seen an eBay listing where I would say, yeah, that can't be beaten. Once in 10 years. The reality is that I guarantee there is products in your inventory that are listed on eBay which need help, which could do with optimization, which could do with better images, better keywords, better descriptions, more item specifics. I guarantee there's some in there. And if you for some reason that you disagree with me, you're either bullshitting or leave me a comment down below and I'll take a look myself. But in my experience, there is a lot of optimization that you could all be doing on your eBay accounts, on your Amazon accounts, and that is going to lead to better results than ABC Marketplace in Timbuktu. It's vanity bollocks. It's like saying, oh, yeah, we sell on 17 marketplaces. Really? And where does 90% of your sales come from? Oh, eBay and Amazon. And how much time does it take of you to actually go set up and manage these marketplaces? How much of your software does integrate with these marketplaces? How many more manual tasks are you having to do because of these marketplaces? The chances are it's way, way, way out of kilter, and you're going to see much better results sticking with eBay and Amazon. And once you've got English sites locked down, then start looking at Germany. Then start looking at Italy, France, India as other alternate locations. Japan. Start expanding out within the eBay and Amazon network. And only then, when you sell on all 26 eBay sites and you feel that your listings are impervious to criticism, only then would I recommend that you start looking elsewhere. eBay and Amazon have the monopoly on audience right now, globally. Stop fucking about with other vanity marketplaces just to say, oh yeah, we sell on Newegg, we sell on Top Hatter, we sell on Wish. Nobody cares. The audience is on eBay, the audience is on Amazon. One day, will Taobao and Alibaba start throwing themselves into the Western world? They'd be stupid if they didn't, and then that changes the game. But right now, unless, again, you're selling a weird and wonderful product, if you're selling an English product, which would absolutely kick ass in China, then yeah, start exploring Ali and all the things that AliExpress and Alibaba and Taobao and all them have to offer. But for the majority of you, eBay and Amazon. Okay, on that same thread, is it okay if I drive traffic to my eBay and Amazon website because I don't have, my eBay and Amazon store because I don't have a website? You could do that. You'd be the opposite of, it would be the opposite move of entrepreneurial if you were to do that. You basically then just turn into a marketing agent for Amazon and eBay. I remember once I was giving a speech, I was giving a talk specifically about building your own website, building a brand, utilizing marketing in order to protect your online business. And I spoke about this for about 40 minutes. I thought, the audience was very engaged, and I asked some great questions at the end. They seemed to get it. And then one guy came up to me and went, could I do this but send them to my eBay store? And I was like, you mate, I've totally lost the point of this whole talk. You could, absolutely you could. There's nothing stopping you from changing your website.com to my eBay shop.com and doing exactly everything else that I've just described. The problem with that is you do not own the customer relationship anymore, and you're basically saying, okay, I'll pay for marketing and then pay an additional 10 to 15% on eBay fees. Why would you do it? It makes no sense, does it? So stop being lazy, get off your ass, build a website or have someone build a website for you and start marketing your business. Start marketing your website, your corner of the web, which nobody is going to kick you off of. So is it okay if I drive marketing traffic to, can I drive marketing traffic to you in Amazon? You can. Is it okay if I do that? No, it isn't. You're an absolute moron and you shouldn't do it. You should, if you're building for the long term, if you want quick wins, then yeah, knock yourself out. But I'm not interested in quick wins. I'm here to help people build long-term businesses that are going to grow. So if you are one of those people who wants to build a long-term business that is going to grow, build a fucking website. Start doing some social media. Find out where your audience is for the products you're selling and help them, give them value. Really winds me up, that subject. Thoughts on sponsored ads, stroke sponsored listings on eBay and Amazon? They work. They do work. Regardless of what you might think, if they are done properly, they do work. If you have the time to manage them and optimize your ads and your listings properly, they do work. There are lots of great tutorials on YouTube which will show you how to set up sponsored ads on Amazon, sponsored listings on eBay, and dare say Google AdWords. Absolutely, it does work if done properly. If you don't do it properly, if you don't respect the learning process involved, you run the risk of throwing money down a drain. Because unless you are keeping a close, you can't just set them up and sit back and go, right, that's done. That'll bring lots of money in. No, it needs optimization. You need to test, experiment, see what works, see what doesn't, and constantly optimize. But for those ones that do that, I've seen and heard of very impressive results. So much so that I know some businesses that cannot spend enough money on Amazon sponsored ads because no matter what they spend, it brings them X percentage back. So they see it as a license to print money. But they have done they've done their research, they've done their homework, they've optimized and everything else. So yes, it can work very well. If you do not have the time or inclination to manage it yourself, there are companies out there who can do that for you. Again, Google is your friend on that one. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Why are my sales down? Great question. Again, it will depend largely on what it is you're selling, but seasonality always plays a role. Like I said earlier, we are now in August. It's August the 2nd at the time of recording this. August is notoriously a slow month. I've sold in multiple different categories before now: electronics, fashion, you name it, sportswear, sports gear. August is always a quiet month. End of July, beginning of August, midway through August. It sort of starts picking up towards the end of August for back to school peak. Again, dependent if that is a product which is back to schoolable. So seasonality plays a massive part in that. Next up, I would say the weather. Like here in the UK, we've had a ridiculous summer so far. Like we've had the summer of all summers that I can ever remember. We had like 6 weeks of sunny 25-degree minimum weather, and the reality of that is if the sun's out, people are out, and if people are out, they're in a pub or in a bar and they're not shopping online. The psychology behind e-commerce is that, rainy days, bad weather, people go online and buy things to cheer them up. So yeah, unless you've been selling seasonal products such as umbrellas for tables, outside furniture, garden games, paddling pools, sunglasses. Unless you've been selling those types of products, you may have seen a sales dip. Like I said, the weather absolutely does play a part. It does impact buyer behavior quite a lot. So what can you do? Ramp up your marketing. This is where your retarget marketing would come in very, very key, and you won't be able to do that unless you've built a website and an email list. So again, there's your urgency. If you've had a tough time this year, that's the kick up the arse you need to actually build a website, start collating an email list, Start building your social profile so that you have permission to speak to people. And when sales are down, you can get proactive and reach out to them and go, oh, by the way, have you seen this new product? Oh, enjoying the weather? Why not use this? So yeah, bear that in mind. It's why am I sales down? There could be a number of reasons. Have you been through and optimized your listings again recently? Are they up to date? Blah, blah, blah. But largely at this time of year, I get asked this a lot. It's usually seasonal. So school holidays are now here. People go on vacation. Like, I've got a problem, again, running businesses right now. Trying to get hold of people for the next month is a nightmare. You get so many out of offices saying, oh yeah, I'm out on annual leave for 2 weeks, and nothing happens. So a lot of people on holiday. If the weather's good, people are outside, and chances are they're not looking on eBay, Amazon, or your website to buy things. So tough titties. What can you do about it? Start planning for September. Start chatting with your suppliers if they're not on holiday. Find out, do some product research. What things are going to be hot this Christmas? Be proactive. Don't just cry because sales are down. Or go on holiday. Do what everyone else is doing. Go and enjoy yourself. August is August. What else? Should I use Magento or Shopify? I get asked this a lot, mainly because my background with Magento. I've done over 500 video tutorials on how to use Magento's multi-channel software, so I get asked that a lot. Magento or Shopify? Right now, it's a tough one. 99% of the time, I'm going to say Magento, purely because of the flexibility, the open source nature of it. Shopify is very easy to use. Don't get me wrong, very super simple. My grandma could set it up and get selling, within a day. Is that easy to use? Magento, not quite. That's not quite the same. However, the flexibility of what Magento offers you is much greater. The marketplace integration with Shopify is basic at best. I've heard also it doesn't work a lot of the time, so that's one to consider. Magento, you have M2E Pro, which works very well. So for me, Magento still wins that conversation. From my background as an e-commerce seller, if you have no interest in eBay and Amazon and you purely want to do, drop shipping with a Shopify store, with Instagram, social media, yeah, do Shopify. It's a short-term business. It's never gonna, it's never gonna be huge. In my opinion, you want the marketplaces. That's purely my background, so feel free to call me out on that one. I'm probably going to ignore you, but yeah, whatever. Magento 1 versus Magento 2 is a hot topic again right now. I'm seeing this question asked a lot. For me right now, Magento 1 still works. Magento 1.9.4 or 5, I think they're on now. I can't remember, but it's stable. It works. And Magento 2 has this question mark around it because Adobe just bought Magento a few months ago. We don't know what direction they're going to go with it, and there's a few questions. So for me, the safest bet is Magento 1 still. They've already said that security updates will be supplied for Magento 1 until 2020. So again, you still have a good couple of years left in Magento 1, and for me, that's still the one that is untouchable by pretty much anything else at this moment in time. Is email marketing or content marketing dead? Yes, if you're doing it wrong. Is it dead if you're doing it right, doing it properly? No, absolutely not. It's still one of the greatest ways in order to grow your business and to engage with your audience. So the problem is with email marketing, a lot of businesses get lazy with it. A lot of businesses don't do it properly and therefore accuse email of being the problem when actually it's you that's the problem. Okay. Same with content marketing. The thing with content marketing is it does work, but it's hard and it takes a long time. And not many people have the stomach to eat shit for a year, pushing out content, knowing that pretty much nobody's watching their stuff. That's the hard bit. So if you don't have a stomach for that, if you can't be bothered with the effort that requires, then bad news. Yeah, content marketing is dead because you can't be asked to do it. Same with email marketing. If you can't be asked to optimize your email list, to segment properly, to set up autoresponders, to set up email chains, if you can't be asked to do that, then yeah, email marketing is dead. In reality, it's your effort which is dead, and that's what's causing the problem. Email marketing, content marketing done properly is still a massive way to go. That is how people are interacting with content these days. The reason why we see such a rise of influencer marketing and display marketing, it's a type of display marketing, it's not search marketing anymore. Display is making a comeback. The reason why that is seeing an increase is because people are engaging with people. That's why video works so well. That's why Instagram is working so well, because people are now engaging with people. So email marketing is not dead. Content marketing is not dead. You just need to do it properly. It's like anything. If you invest your time in it, you'll see results. If you are doing email marketing because someone once told you should be doing email marketing, and you set up a MailChimp and you send out an email every month, guess what? Ain't going to work. You're never going to see the results that you could potentially see. So there's that. Truth bomb dropped. The other question I get asked a lot is, can you help me, or can I work with you? Two separate questions. Can I help you? Normally the answer is yes, I can help. I went to a business a couple of weeks ago before I went to France, and helped them massively. I was there for 2 hours, and they actually emailed me back a few days later saying, Dave, thank you so much. We really feel like we've got a direction to go in now, blah, blah, blah. You gave us the answers that we needed. So yeah, absolutely. It is. I probably can help you, but if I can't help you, I won't. And I won't charge you. So that's the thing. So if you think that, you need my help, you need some help with your e-commerce stuff, let me know, either in the comment section down below or email me, mancentrepreneur@gmail.com. I think that's my email. Oh God, I've lost the screen now. Get in touch. I'm not hard to find. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Drop me a message somewhere. I will find it if you want my help. And like I said, the way that I will usually work is I'll get you to explain to me your situation and what it is you're struggling with. And if I can't help you, I will try and point you in the direction of someone who can. But if I can help you, we can then arrange a way of how we want to take this further. Do you want to do online calls? Do you want me to come and see you? Whatever it might be. Like I said, I've been in this game 10 years. There's not much which I haven't seen. And yeah, I think usually I can help. But like I said, I'm not trying to push that. I'm not, that's not the main thing of what I do. But like I said, if you think I can help, let me know. I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. Can I work with you? That's a sort of different question. Yes or no? I don't know. Can I work with you? That's something which I got asked a couple of weeks ago. Potentially, yes. Like I am right now. I'm open to new opportunities and new ideas and things going forward. So can I work with you? Potentially. Reach out. Tell me what you think I can bring to the table, and we can have a discussion. I'm not above anything like that. If I don't think I can help, if you don't think it's going to work, then I'll be honest and say no. So yeah, that's pretty much been. I think that's all the questions. I try to think if there's any other questions. I've just seen like a load of viewers come in live. Welcome. Thank you for joining right at the end. So your timing's a bit off. But yeah, for anyone if you didn't know, I'm doing a very raw, uncut, no bullshit Q&A. Basically going through some of the most frequently asked questions that I've had recently. Just giving you like I said, the mood I'm in today. The phone hasn't rang as well, so you can guarantee as soon as I'm off this call, I'm about to ring someone up and yeah, try and get through to them so I can give them an ass kicking. That's probably another video. I'll probably explain that at a later date once everything's sorted. Try to think quickly. Is there any other questions which I've been asked recently which I can vent whilst I'm in this irate mood? Oh, another question I try to get asked about is, will I be doing any more charity things? I was supposed to be doing the Yorkshire 3 Peaks Challenge in May. That has been postponed until next year, purely because the success of the Portuguese bike ride that myself, John, Ian, and Chris did, we raised, I think, over £1,300 for that bike ride, which was way above the target of 1,000, I think we set. And the charity was going to be for the same charity. So we thought it would be best to spread that out. And also the people I was doing it with, along with myself, had not done the training required to do the 3 Peaks challenge. So that will be coming next year. As for the rest of this year, no, there's nothing else planned. Stu, thank you for joining, sir. Have you got any idea if this new Australian eBay FBA will accept items in any category, including antiques? That's a great question. I believe that is going to be a question for the guys at Fulfilio. I remember when I was reading the press release, they did not give any specifics on categorization, items that they would or wouldn't touch. Antiques is a funny one, because obviously for a lot of antiques, they're quite valuable and they need to be stored in a very fragile, safe environment. So, and it isn't unusual for fulfillment companies to sort of make you sign a waiver which says that if they're holding antiques for you, they need to be packaged and wrapped in such a way to protect them, basically to say that if they get damaged in the process of being picked and packed and dispatched, that the fulfillment company is not liable. That does depend on how valuable the antiques are and how big they are, obviously. But right now, I was led to believe that it was pretty much fair game, and it was basically you would email, get in touch with Fulfilio, and sort of they would get back to you and see if there's a way that you could work together. I do not know for sure if they will accept antiques, but I imagine most categories, yes. If they're doing a deal with eBay, and bearing in mind that antiques on eBay is still a huge thing, it's one of the few things that they do better than anyone else. You would imagine that eBay would have put something in the agreement saying that you have to be willing to work with sellers of weird and wonderful items. So I would imagine that, yes, they will do it, but there may be a clause somewhere dependent on the product value and liability and all the rest of it. So best advice there. Email the guys at Fulfilio. I think last time I heard there's a bit of a waiting list. I think they got a bit inundated when the news went out about what they were doing with eBay FBA. FBE, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, check best advice. I've not heard anything specifically, but I imagine I'd be surprised if they didn't put it out, if they didn't have some sort of thing in place to handle that. So that's it. Unless you got any other questions, I am going to leave you guys to your Thursday and crack on with Stu. No problem at all. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate you taking time out to join us. So with that said, I'm going to leave it there, guys. If you've hopefully you've you've not found my tone too harsh. It's not meant to be harsh. I'm not shouting at you. I just want to get across sort of the answers to these questions. I'm not in the mood today to be fluffy and wrap things up. You're just getting raw honesty, and that's what it is. If you've liked this video, hit that like button. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. I think last time I checked, we're on 799 subscribers. So you could be the lucky one to take us up to 800. You don't win a prize, but you do get to feel very good about yourself for at least an hour. So bear that one in mind. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week. See you next time.